and 20 minutes, we are going to do the following. First of all, some of you just sat in a reflex at the same table they were sitting at before lunch. But this afternoon session, we're going to take you through some serious group work. And that will be around the theme of how do we move beyond the silos. And that theme, now people are all of a sudden getting silent. This is a topic close to some people's hearts. What you see on the table you're sitting at the moment, some tables at least, and those are the tables we're going to use, is a little flag that gives some sort of indication, like intersector work and blah, blah, blah. The tables with the flags are the tables that we are going to use. And what I want you to do, you can sit at the table you're sitting at, you can stay there, but then that is the topic that you will be discussing. But if you want to move to any of the other tables, listen to the following. So I want to see if Claude and Joe are already in the room. Claude and Joe. These two tables are the tables that deal with health finance. And I'll tell you in a minute what the exercise will be. But those are the finance people. Then we have two tables. There's Ibadat and Ramia. And they're doing human resources. So Ibadat, are you here? And Ramia? Okay. Ramia is still coming. But anyway, human resources, it's a scarce good, as you can see. Then research, we have Zubin and Gafar. So Zubin I saw, Gafar, yes. So those two tables will deal with research. Then pharmaceuticals is Christophe. And that's, you can't miss it. It's central, and Christophe is already waving. Maybe you should stand up so people can see you, because some people go for people. So this, if you want to be with Christophe the next hour, this is it. Then we have service delivery, and it is Nuria and Jeremy. And where's the service delivery table? That is right there. Then we have a table multi-sector, actually two tables. One is Kerman, another is Nicolette. So Nicolette is already there, Kerman is probably coming. But anyway, this is a table service delivery. Multi-sector. Then there's a table with Simon, and it's non-state actors. Simon. Okay, so Simon is making his way to that table where he will be the host of that table. And then we have finally, oh boy, Cheryl. Knowledge management. Cheryl, the table of Cheryl, where's Cheryl? Okay, Cheryl, and that table is knowledge management. Now, what will happen in the coming 10 minutes is you will get a nice presentation, kick-off presentation by Deva. Deva is the head of the Institute of Public Health in Bangalore. He's already standing there waiting. He will, explain what the context is of this exercise. And after that, at these tables, you have to imagine you are in the department of X, so pharmaceuticals, etc., etc. And the question is, in the new UHC world, how are you going to deal within the framework of that particular area with the silos? Yeah, so that is the exercise. Now, before that, of course, we first want people to have a chance to make it to another table. If they say, well, pharmaceuticals, we prefer people who are working on human resources not to be at the table of human resources. We want people to cross boundaries and do something totally out of the box. So for me, that would be, for instance, going to pharmaceuticals, but I know very little about the subject. So if you can, we give you 2 minutes to find another table if you wish to do so. And the 2 minutes start now. So you can move around. And maybe the leads can hold up the flags so that people can see which tables are what. People have no flag, they should find a flag. A table with a flag. Or become special advisors. That's also possible. There's a special advisor table here. You can sit here because this. All right, one more minute to find a good table, and then we're going to go to the kick-off lecture by Deva. All right, if everybody's found their table, I would like to give the floor to Deva. As I said, the director of the Institute of Public Health, Bangalore, India. And he will talk to us about the background to this little exercise. Deva, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. Okay. So have you all been shifted out of your comfort zones? Yes? So the idea is that hopefully this will stimulate out-of-the-box thinking. Okay? So I was wondering why I have been invited to make this kickoff speech, but I was told that you don't belong to any international agency, you don't belong to any government, you don't belong to anything, so, and you only work on health systems, so you're a good selection, okay? I've been working on systems, health systems for the last 30 odd years, and this issue of silos is something that has struck me at every single point of my journey. It's either silos between the generalists and the specialists in the medical field, the doctors and the nurses, or if you're talking of public health people, it is the malaria people versus the TB people versus the NCD people versus the RCH. And now, of course, I'm seeing even more silos, the human resources people and the health financing people. So basically, we are dividing our health system and fragmenting it tremendously, and we really need to come back and look at it as a system if we want to achieve UHC 2030 by 2030. So I'll just quickly take you through some of the slides. Basically, we are saying if we are going to continue working on silos, it's going to be difficult, especially if we are talking of health systems approach, because a health system, you touch one building block, you affect every other single building block. Whether it is, if you talk of health financing, it has a role on human resources, it has a role on medicines, it has a role on health service delivery. So every single block is interconnected. So we have to think out of our boxes and see how we can look at the whole system. Yeah, so what we are talking of is actionable health system strengthening. Okay? It's a little provocative because we are always talking of harmonization, etc. But now let's come up with something which is actionable, which we can make happen in the next 15 years. No, 14 years. In many countries, it has been, the Ministry of Health has been a recipient, passive recipient of aid and advice and policies, etc. Can we think of what I think in ITM Antwerp they call the switching the poles, where we shift and put the Ministry of Health at the center of the this entire endeavor of UHC by 2030. And the Ministry of Health doesn't play the traditional role of being a funder as well as a provider of health services, but be mainly the steward, guiding the health services, taking responsibility of both state as well as non-state actors, making sure that the health indicators and the health status which we want to achieve are achieved. And in this process, the international agencies, the other countries, the donor countries, etc., play a more facilitating role and helping the government, Ministry of Health achieve this. Okay. So, the changing roles of Ministry of Health includes the fact that the traditional command and control way of governing will have to maybe change. There's a more widespread decentralization, needs to have a more decentralization of power so that people can make decisions at the district level, at the regional level, rather than at the state or international level. And there are a lot of changes in many of these countries. So we have to place the MOH at the center of this movement. Okay. So to kickstart this exercise, these are the 3 questions that the organizers are asking y'all. If we want the Ministry of Health to play a steward role, what does each silo need to do? So there is a health financing group there. There is a human resource group somewhere. Yes? So how do you all get out of your group and think of coordinating with the other groups to strengthen the Ministry of Health? What capacities are needed in the Ministry of Health for them to play this role? And where is the collaboration needed from external agencies? So these are the 3 questions that each one of your groups have to answer, keeping in mind that you are a group working on, or your Ministry of Health Department of Financing, or your Ministry of Health Department of Human Resources, and you need to say, okay, what do I do to help strengthen the stewardship function of the Ministry of Health? Okay, you want to?
Thanks very much, Deva. The questions will stay projected. So everybody's now at the table where these are to be discussed. Each table has a facilitator. And you see these nice white sheets and flap overs. We want in the last 10 minutes of your deliberations, for which we give you till 3:15, we want you to sort of write up or make a kind of poster. And that should be as creative as possible. Now, the feedback of all this is going to be in the same speedy whirlwind fashion as what Richard was doing this morning. I think we like that speed. So we're not going to go to all the points of deliberation, but make your posters, you might make your posters detailed, because the posters will keep also for the reporting. But what we would like you to give us feedback is basically tell us which was the most sort of enlightening or creative idea that your discussion came up with in the face of this silo discussion. Yeah, so use these questions as deliberation points, but the feedback should be, well, what was the most enlightening brainwave that you had at your table about removing ourselves from the silos? Okay, the 45 minutes starts now. I wish everybody good luck, and we'll see.